This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last session, we have discussed about the test classes, and we have discussed what exactly a test class, what is the use, why should we go for the test classes, and how to prepare the test classes in our Apex programming. For what components we need to prepare the test classes, and what are the various principles or rules given by the Apex programming before deploying the code to the production. How much percentage of code coverage that we need to maintain, and how to estimate our organization's code coverage, and how can we identify each and every class or triggers code coverage, how to verify that. All these things we have discussed, and along with that, how to prepare a test class, how to prepare the testing method. Upon preparing the testing method, what are the various principles that we need to follow, how to run that test method to do the unit testing of our Apex classes and the business logic components which we have implemented. We have discussed by using the multiple mechanisms. Like we can click on the run test button, or we can go with the Apex test execution also. We can go with the run all test buttons also, or from the developer console also we can able to do. So now let's see how can we prepare a normal class first, and then how to prepare the test class for that. We'll see practically. Let's go with the practical part. So let me prepare a small class, and then let me prepare the test class for that. How to prepare that? Let me show you practical. Now, for example, let me take a small use case. Create an Apex class to perform the mathematical operations, and prepare the test class to test the business logic. To test the business logic, prepare the test class. I want to prepare an Apex class and I want to prepare the test class also, both. So let me prepare the Apex class initially to perform some mathematical operations, and then we will see how to prepare the test class for that. I will show you practically. So let me create the Apex class first. Let me go to the developer console. I'm preparing an Apex class. Math operations helper. With this name already a class is here. Math operations utility. I'm preparing a class with the name Math Operations Utility class. So now a new class has been prepared. In this class, I would like to prepare some methods. Here I will show you both procedures, functions. How to test procedures, how to test functions also I will show you. Now, I'm preparing few procedures here. Public static void addition. I'm preparing a procedure, integer x, integer y, integer set. So I need to pass 3 parameters. All will be of type integer, and then I would like to perform the operations on these 3 values, that is addition. I want to show the result. So I'm preparing this here. I'm preparing the result, addition result. I want to show that result over here. X plus Y plus Z. So I'm preparing this business logic where I would like to perform the addition on these 3 values. Whatever the 3 input values you are supplying at runtime, for these 3 input values, I'm going to be collecting these values. I'm performing the addition. I'm going to be representing the result. Now, like the similar public static void multiply. Here I'm passing the 2 integer values, integer x and the integer y. I want to show the result. System.debug multiply result is, I would like to perform this operation. I want to show x into y. Next. Public static void division. I'm performing that integer x, integer y. I want to show the result. System.debug division result is, I would like to indicate math.mod of x comma y. I want to indicate that public static void modulus. I'm passing the 2 integer parameters, integer x and the integer y. I want to show the result. Sorry, is the division right? X by y. Math operation utility, I'm having this of 4 methods. Addition method, multiply, division, and the modulus. So what is the code coverage value right now for this class? 0. Why? Because I haven't prepared any test classes as of now. So code coverage value will be 0. Then how can we verify? My class name is what? Math operations utility. Here we can verify the code coverage as well. So this is the class math operation utility. So for this class, I would like to identify the code coverage. So what is the code coverage for this class? I would like to know. So we have 2 ways are available to verify the code coverage. First one is by using standard navigation. Second one by using developer console also. Now let's see. Let's go to the standard navigation. Go to the Apex classes. Develop Apex classes. So let's open your Apex class. What is my class name? Math operations utility. Click on M because my class name is starting with the character M. Math operations utility. This is my class. Open this class name. Now it is indicating that this is the class code which we have prepared. Now, what is the code coverage right now? 0%. Okay, 0%. So now this is the code coverage that we have inside my class. For this class, currently the code coverage 0%. This is one way in order to see the code coverage. Second one, from the developer console. How to verify the code coverage of this math operation utility class? Just we can expand the tab bar. Expand the tab bar. Click on test tab. Click on test tab. In the right panel, you will be having this classes information. Each and every class, each and every trigger name will be getting populated. Each and every class name and the trigger name will be getting populated. Here we can see that. So what is my class name? My class name is math operation utility. For this math operation utility class, what is the code coverage? This is my class, math operation utility. What is the code coverage? It is indicating code coverage percent. This is currently 0%. For my class, the code coverage is 0%. Now, I want to write the test class for this. Then how can we test? Okay, now, test class is not the typical one. It is a very simple. Whatever the way we are testing this math operations utility from the execute anonymous window, same thing we are doing, that's it, nothing else. Same thing we are doing, that is nothing else. Then what needs to be done? We have to invoke these methods. Okay, we have to invoke this method through test classes. Why? Because whenever we are going to be delivering the application to the client, or whenever we are going to be deploying this application to the respective production server, then we have to execute all the testings, whatever we have done as of now. To develop this project may be taking 6 months. So now every day we have implemented some small features. But if before deploying to that application to the production, if you want to test the whole system at a time, that will be very difficult. That's what here we are going to be automating this testing process with the help of these test classes. So that at the end of that, before moving that code to the production, we can execute all these test classes in one shot. For that one, we can test the whole application at a time. For that reason, here we are going to be preparing this test classes. Now, let's prepare the test class for this business logic class. How to prepare the test class? You know, what is the syntax? You are aware of that. Test class, we have to prepare is like as a normal Apex class only, but the access specifier should be either private or public. And then you can specify the class keyword, and then you can specify the class name. Inside that, we have to prepare a testing method. We have to write the business logic over here. Okay, we have to write that business logic. Nothing but here we have to write that testing code. That's it, nothing else. Now, so in this case, here we are going to perform this operations over here. So prepare the test class. Test class name also looking like as your business logic class, but it should be post fixing with the word test. And along with that, the class name should be always prefixed with the annotation at the rate is a test annotation. And then we have to prepare the testing method. Here we have to invoke those methods here. That's it, nothing else. Same. Now, let me prepare a test class. I'm preparing the test class. For this class, I'm giving the name as math operations utility test. I'm preparing the test class name as math operations utility test. Now click on OK. So now the test class access specifier should be either private or public, because these are always executing within the organization only, not from outside. So these are test classes are always executing within the organization. Then only if we are having the 75% of the code coverage, then only we can deploy the code to the production. So that test class access specifier should be always either private or public. Now I'm making it as private. Now, so now we have to prepare the test class. For that one, test class should be always starts with that annotation at the rate is a test. At the rate is a test. So this is the test class which I have prepared over here. Now, inside this, we have to prepare the test method. So how can we prepare the test method? Static test method, void test math operations. I'm preparing the method with the name test math operations. So you can give any name over here. Here we have to invoke those methods. That's it. Generally, these methods we are going to be invoking from execute anonymous window. How these methods are static methods. Okay, these methods are static methods. So that here we are going to be invoking by using class name dot method name. So like the similar way we have to invoke this here also, nothing else different. Now here invoke the methods. Invoke the business logic. How to invoke the business logic methods we'll see. Math operations utility dot, what is the addition. Pass the three values over here. I'm passing the values 100, 4500, and then 500. These are the values. Next, math operation utility dot multiply. Math operations utility dot multiply. I'm going to be invoking this one. I'm going to be invoking this method, like I'm passing the values, okay, 20,000 and then 400. I'm passing these two values. Math operations utility dot, I'm invoking this division. I'm passing the value 4,500 and then 20. And I'm invoking that next method, like as modulus. Modulus, I'm passing the value, okay, 400, comma, some 6. These are the values here. So now here in this case, I'm going to be invoking this method by passing this value. Just we are calling this method, nothing else. Just we are calling this method. Because the same process we used to follow previously also. But these methods were invoking from the execute anonymous window. But now we have prepared this particular functionality inside the test class. Now we can run this test class here. My test class is ready. Okay, my test class is ready over here. This is the way we are preparing the test class. Whatever the way you are invoking that methods from the execute anonymous window, same way we are invoking from your test class also. Just you have to write that code inside the test class and then run the test class over here. How to run this test class? Now here you will be having a button. There is a button is available, run test. Click on this run test button so the test class will be getting run. Or else you can go to the standard navigation. From there also we can able to run that test class as well. Let me show you that. Let me show you from standard navigation. This is the class which you have prepared, math operations utility test. Let's go to the standard navigation. Let me open my test class also. Starting with M, math operations utility test. This is my test class. So now here we are having this normal class and test class. This is the normal business logic class. Okay, business logic class. This is the test class. So what additionally that we have, observe this one. When you come to these buttons here, you will be having one additional button. Here we have, this is the normal class and this is the test class. So now here we are having edit button, delete, download, security, show dependencies. Here also in the test class also we have edit, delete, download, security, show dependencies. But additionally we have a button called as run test button. So we have to click on this run test button in order to run this test class. Okay, now. So now as of now my code coverage is what? My code coverage is 0%. Refresh this user interface also. Now my actual business logic class code coverage is 0%. Now let's go to the test class, run this test class. Click on run test. It will be executing this test class by placing inside that queue. Now it is indicating the green color tick mark, test class has been executed, it has been passed. If the test class has failed, it will be indicating it the red color cross mark. Red color cross mark is test class has been failed. Okay, but here my test class has been passed, so it is indicating a green color tick mark over here. That means this method has been getting tested. These methods have been tested. Now refresh this user interface. So now what is the code coverage now? 100%. Okay, code coverage is 100%. That means these are 4 methods we have tested. Okay, these are 4 methods we have tested over here. So now these 4 methods we have tested through our test class. So further it is indicating the 100% code coverage. Now, for example, let me show you. Now, in this case, for example, let me open this test class which I have prepared. Now, go to the test class. This is my test class. For example, I'm commenting one line of code. Okay, for example, I'm commenting one line of code. Let me go to that. Multiply. I'm not going to execute. I'm commenting. So that means what? Only these three, okay, only these three methods will be tested. This method will not be tested over. The multiply method will not be tested. Now, let me show. Refresh this user interface. Now this map operation utility dot multiply has been tested, commented. Now let's execute this run test. Now my test class has been passed. Let's go to the actual class, verify the code coverage. What is the code coverage right now? 75%. Why 75%? Three methods we have tested, one method is not tested. Then which method is not tested? How do we know? Do we need to look into the center test class code? No, I don't want to go with that. I want a straightforward indication. So in this case here, just to go to the developer console. In this developer console, open that class. Open the class. So whatever the business logic class is available, open that class. Math operations utility. Double click on this. Now it is indicating that whatever the methods has been tested, those methods will be getting highlighted with the blue color. The methods and the code which is not tested, that will be indicating with that orange color, okay, the maroon color highlighting over here. So that is indicating that addition method has been tested perfectly, and the division also tested, modulus also tested. So 75% has been tested. This method is not tested over here. That's what it is indicating, 75% of the code coverage. Now, suppose for example, let me uncomment this code. Uncomment this code. Now run this test class now. Run the test class. Now let's see. Go to the test. Open that class here. Math operations utility. Now it is indicating all the four methods has been tested. So it is having 100% code coverage over here. It is indicating here 100% code coverage is available for my class math operations utility. Okay, math operations utility. This is how we have to prepare the test class, okay, for your business logic functionalities. Prepare your business logic class first, and then we have to test these functionalities also. For that one, we are preparing a separate test class, and the test class we can able to execute. Okay, we can execute the test classes. And then in this case, from the developer console also we can execute the test class, and we can see which method has been tested, which line of code has been tested, which line of code is not tested. We can identify with the help of this color coding notations over here. Blue color highlighting is indicating it has been tested. Red color highlighting is indicating this method is not tested. The line of code is not tested. It is indicating clearly. Okay, this is how we are going to be testing the functionalities over here. Now, let me place this code.
Sir, here how many times can we call these methods in the test class?
Sorry?
Is there any restriction of calling these methods in the test method?
No. There is no restriction. You can call a number of methods also in the test class.
If we don't have static methods, in that case we need to create object.
Yes, that's it. Same concept.
Okay.
Now, next one. Let me show you one more functionality. For example, so these are few procedures here which we have prepared, which we have tested. Now, for example, assume that I'm having one more Apex class which will be having some common methods, some mathematical functions and some the string related functions also. Both I would like to place. Now, so then how can we do the testing process? Let me show you. Let's take a small use case. Write an Apex class to prepare a collection of functions to be used to perform the mathematical operations mathematical operations and string operations and write the test class for the business class and write the test class for the business class. I want to prepare some functions. For these functions, I would like to prepare the test classes. Then let me show you how can we do that. So let me prepare a method. I'm preparing a class, a business logic class. Let me close this. I'm preparing a class. Common helper. With this name already a class is there. Now, common handler. Common utility handler. I'm preparing this class. So inside this class, I'm going to be preparing some functions. Not preparing some functions. Public, static. I'm preparing that addition function. Now, in this case, I'm passing the two parameters, integer x, integer y. So now what I want to do, I want to prepare a function. So I want to perform the operation. Previously, what we did, we have performed the operation. We have printed the result by using system.debug. But now I don't want to print. I want to perform the operation on these two values, x plus y. And then I want to return this value. So what is that value? If whenever I'm adding these two integer values, what is the return type, result type? Again, if I'm adding the two integers, return type value should be again integer. So that I'm indicating the return type as integer. Okay, public static integer, nothing but this is the return type of that function. This is the function. If it is a void, that means procedure. If it is a function, it will be having other than void. So when coming to this function addition, it will take two parameters as the input, which will be of type integer. It is performing the addition. Now once you are performing the addition on these two integer values, the result is also again an integer. If I'm adding the two integer values, the result will be again in integer. So I'm returning that value. For that one, I'm using this return statement. So now this method is returning that integer value. So I'm indicating the return type as integer. Now the next one, I'm preparing one more method. Public static integer multiply. I'm passing three values: integer x, integer y, integer z. Now, I would like to collect these three values. I'm performing that multiplication operation. X into y into z, and this value I would like to return. Because whenever you are multiplying the three integer values, again the result will be of type integer. So these are the two methods I have prepared. Next, I'm preparing some string methods over. String related methods. I'm having that. I would like to prepare the methods over. Okay, I would like to prepare the methods. Now, in this case, what needs to be done? I would like to prepare a method check equals. Check equals. In order to compare the two string values, string sum s1, comma string sum s2. Two string values are there. I would like to check whether these two strings are equals or not. If both are equals, I want to return true, or else I want to return false. So that I'm indicating the return type as Boolean. I'm indicating this return type as Boolean. So what I need to do, I need to verify whether both the strings are equals or not. How can we compare? Now I'm going to indicate that here. Okay, if s1 is equals to s2, then I'm returning that true. Else I'm returning that value return false. That means if the string s1 is equals to s2, if both are same, I'm using the equality operator over here. I'm using the equality operator, so that here I'm going to be verifying that if both the strings are equals or not. If both are equal, then return true, or else return false. I'm returning this one. Okay, now next I'm preparing one more method here. Public static. I want to check the equality by using the equals method. Here we have used equality operator, and then I would like to use equals method also. There also I would like to return whether both the strings are equals or not. Boolean check equals with the case. With the case, I want to consider the case also here, either uppercase or lowercase. I want to pass the two string parameters, string s1, string s2. I'm passing the two strings over here. I want to compare whether both the strings are equals or not. What I want to do is s1 dot equals, okay, s1 dot equals of s2. I'm returning this value directly. Returns s1 dot equals of s2. So now in this case, if s1 dot equal nothing but it will compare both the strings over here. If both are equals with exact case, then only it will return true, or else it will return false. Next, I want to indicate that public static string. That means I would like to use a method called as concatenate method. So I'm passing the two strings over here, string s1, string s2. I'm going to be concatenating s1 plus s2. You know that. I want to return this result. Return s1 plus s2, which is of type string, so that I'm indicating the return type as string. These are four functions I have prepared inside my class. These are the four functions. Now, the first function is addition, which will be collecting the two integer values. It is performing the addition operation on these two values. It is returning the result. And now we have the multiply function, which will be collecting the three integer values. It will perform the multiplication of these three values. It is returning the result. And then third one, we are having the check equals. So where it is going to be comparing the two strings by using this equality operator. If both are same, it returns true, or else it returns false. And the fourth one, we have this check equals with the case method, a function which will be comparing the two string values. If both are same exactly with the same case, it returns true, or else it returns false. Here I have used equality operator. Here we have used equals function. And then we have prepared one more function with the name concatenate, which is going to be collecting some two string values. It will do the concatenation of both the strings. It will return that concatenated result over here. These are the five functions are available right now inside my class. Now I want to prepare the test class for this. Then how can we do that? Now let's see practically in this case. Now I'm preparing the test class. New Apex class. I'm giving the test class name as common utility handler test. Common utility handler test. So now make this class as private, and then make this class as a test class. In order to make the class as a test class, we have to use an annotation @user test annotation. Now prepare the test method. Static test method void test common methods. Common methods. I'm preparing a test method over here. Now I want to invoke these methods. So how can we invoke these methods? Now these are the static functions. Okay, these are the static functions over here. So I would like to invoke this. Common handler, common utility handler dot. Okay, I'm indicating addition. I'm passing the value some 100, 450. So it is returning some result. Then what is the guaranteed is returning correct result? What is the guaranteed is returning 550? How do we know? For that one, to compare, whenever I'm invoking this one, it is returning some result. What it is the result it is iterating? What result it is returning here? 550 or something else? How do we know? How can we compare? Now, if I'm passing this of 100 and 450, it has to return 550 only to me. It should not return other values. Then what value this addition function is returning to me? How do we check? For that one, we are going to be using a method called system.assert equals. System.assert equals. In this system dot set equals, so now we are going to indicating that. We have to specify expected result, actual result. So now here we are using expected. What we are expecting here, if you are passing this particular, these two values for this method, it has to return what? It has to return this value as 550. What is the actual result? It is returning here. I need to collect. How can we collect the actual value? By invoking this method over here, by invoking this function. By invoking this function. That's it. So now in this case, what happened? Set equals. That means what? Please compare whatever the result returned by this particular method, that return type is, return value is 550 or not. I want to cross check that. Set equals method is going to be comparing. So it will collect this particular method's result, whether this result is equals to 550 or not. If it is 550, it will be indicating testing case pass, or else testing case will be failed. Now, so now in this case, system dot set equals. Okay, set equals. I would like to call this a method here. Suppose if I'm passing some different value over here, like as common utility handler dot addition. If I'm passing the values like as 20,000 comma 450, then what is the result that we are expecting? 20,450 result. It has to return. I'm comparing whether this value is equals to this particular value or not for our confirmation here. This is the expected, this is the actual. So now I'm collecting that. If anybody is aware of the testing mechanism, testing process, there as part of the testing cases you are preparing, expected result, actual result, both are the same, then the testing case will be passed. Whatever the customer is expecting, okay, whatever the customer is expecting, the customer is expecting like this. If I'm passing this value, it has to return this one. Then what the application is returning, this is the actual. Actual means what the application is returning. If both are the same, then it is confirmation for me, it is working properly. Now, so for that reason, we are going to be preparing with the positive and negative cases. Like the similar way, I'm testing the remaining methods also. System dot set equals. Set equals, I would like to call that remaining methods. Common utility handler dot, we are having that method called as multiply. I'm passing the three values here, 10, 45, and 10. So now here in this case, I'm indicating the result. It should be 4,500. I'm expecting 4,500. If I'm passing these values, okay, 10, 45, and then 10. If I'm passing this value, it is returning the result like 4,500 or not. We are going to be indicating. Next, system dot set equals. Now, so which method you would like to call now? I'm going to be calling this method. Now I'm indicating common utility handler dot. I'm calling this a check equals. Check equals method. I'm passing the two values. What are those two values? Welcome, comma welcome. Welcome. So now this is the normal method, nothing but equality operator. So it won't consider about the case. If I'm passing this 2, it has to return the value as 2. Nothing but both are same. Suppose if I'm passing some different values over here. If I'm passing some different value, here I'm passing that small w, then also it has to return true. For example, I am passing the value like this here. Welcome 1. In this case, what it has to return? False. That means this is the negative case. These two are the positive cases. This is the negative case. Negative case. If I'm passing this, both the values are different, it has to return the value as false. Nothing but both are not same, both are different. Like the similar. System dot set equals. Now, the next method is, I'm going to be invoking this next method. So common utility handler dot, okay, equals with the ignore case. Check equals with case. I'm indicating these values over here. I'm passing the value welcome. Here also welcome. So what you are expecting, both are exactly same. So I'm expecting the result as true. Suppose if I'm passing these values, okay, here W is some small. In this case, I'm expecting the result as false. Nothing but both are not same. So I'm expecting the result as false. Positive and the negative case, both I'm preparing in this case here. Next, system dot asset equals the next method. Common utility handler dot, I'm having that next method as concatenate. Here I'm passing this to two values. Hello, and then second one is welcome. Now it has to return the value hello, welcome. It has to return the value hello, welcome. Both it has to come concatenate, it has to return that result over here. Now, so like this here we are going to be comparing this. We are going to be comparing this functionality. So we are going to be invoking this method by passing some value. Then I'm expecting whenever if I'm passing this value, then this is the result it has to return. I'm comparing whether it is returning the correct result or not. I'm comparing this one. Now, if I'm passing these values, then it has to return this result or not. We're comparing. So if both are same, then only this will be getting passed, or else that will be getting filled. For that one, we are going to be utilizing that asset equals a method. By using this asset equals a method, we can able to compare the actual result with the expected result. This is what I'm expecting, whether my application is returning the same or not. If both are same, test case will be passed, or else test case will be failed. Okay, now, so let's in this case. Now let's execute this class. Before that, let me verify what is that code coverage for my class. Let me open inside my developer console, inside my standard navigation. My class name is math operations utility, or what common utility and helper. Common utility handler. This is the class. This is the class. What is the code coverage right now? 0%. Now, so let me execute my test class now. Let me open my test class also. Here I will show you by using Apex test execution. Click on Apex test execution. Click on select a test. Which class you would like to execute now? Math operations utility test. So which one? The common utility handler test. This is the test class I would like to execute. Now click on run button. Now it is running this test class. It is indicating processing state. It is testing my functionality. Now test class is passed. Test class is passed. Now let's go to the code coverage. Refresh this user interface. Now it is indicating 100% code coverage for my class. Okay, 100% code coverage. Like that, here we have to prepare the testing classes for each and every business logic class. Now let me go to my Apex classes. Let me verify what is the overall code coverage. Previously it is showing that code coverage will be 0. But now let's see what it is. Code coverage is 1% right now. Like that, slowly we have to prepare testing classes and then we have to maintain the code coverage. Now, this is the way we are going to preparing the testing classes here for your basic functionalities. Now let's go with that some more functionalities. How to prepare the testing class for trigger, how to prepare the testing class for batch programming, Visual Force controller class, we'll see one by one. Now let me paste this code. Class code. Testing class code. Next. The next one. Now let's take a small trigger. For example, let's take a trigger called as auto lead convert a trigger. Okay, auto lead convert a trigger. So let me take up this trigger class code. And for this trigger, how to prepare the business testing class, we'll see practically. Now, so this is my trigger code. The code is available. The actual business logic is available inside this lead handler utility. Lead handler utility. Let me open both the classes. My trigger name is, so this is the business logic class lead handler utility, in which I have written the piece of code in order to convert that code over here. Now, next. So what is my trigger name? Let me go to the triggers, open the trigger code. Apex triggers, auto lead converted trigger. So now tell me, what is this trigger code coverage? 0%. What is my handler class code coverage? 0%. Okay, 0%. Now the handler class code coverage is also 0%. Trigger code coverage is 0%. Now I need to prepare the test class for my trigger. What we can do? How can we do this? Simple concept. Previously, what we did, we have prepared the trigger, and then to test this trigger, what we did, we went to the lead object. We have created one lead record, and then we have opened the lead record. We change the lead status to close converted. Upon saving that, automatically lead record has to be get converted. That is the functionality of my trigger here. So auto lead converted trigger. That means what? This trigger is going to be converting the lead record as our customer through programmatically. So through programmatically, it is going to be converting this values. It will converting the lead record as the customer. So now we did the testing manually. Okay, manually. How we went to the lead object, created one lead record, or open any of the existing lead record, and then we are going to be changing the status to close converted. Automatically, that trigger will be getting fired. That means after updating that lead record, so now the trigger will fire. Trigger is going to be invoking this business logic class. It is going to be converting this lead record as our customer. This is the functionality. So now we did the testing manually, but now how can we do the testing through testing class? So now what we need to do for this one, we have to create one lead record first, and then we have to change the lead status to close convert, and then update the lead record. That's it. Through programmatically we have to do. You know how to prepare the lead records, you know how to update the lead records. Now here you can raise a question. Sir, inside the testing class, why you are preparing the lead? Already we have so many lead records are there inside the lead object. Why can't we collect one lead record? Why can't we change the status to simply the close converted? We can't access that. In the testing class, you can't touch your actual data. You can't touch your actual data through testing class. Now, in this case, we have to prepare whatever the records are required for this particular trigger, whatever the records are required for this business logic, those records we have to prepare. That is called as a test data. That is also called as a test bed. That is also called as test environment. We have to prepare the test environment or the test bed. That means in order to do the testing, whatever the records are required, those records we have to insert first inside through my testing class. Whatever the records are required to test the functionality, those records we have to create first. Then only we can able to use those records for the testing process. Why? Because your testing class will not be running the tests on your existing records. Those existing records will not be touched by your testing class. Now, here you can raise a question. So now we are creating one record through testing class, and then we are going to be performing the testing. Then what about that record? That record will be there in the record table automatically? No. Once the testing class has been completed execution, automatically that record will be getting removed. Till that execution process, only that record will be there inside your object. Once the test execution has been done, it is going to be removing that record from the object. It's like as a virtual temporary record. Okay, then for this one, we have to prepare some lead records, and then we have to convert it over here. Now, in this case, what needs to be done? I need to prepare. Okay, I need to prepare. So it is going to be collecting the lead record, because it is going to passing that lead record. Whenever my lead record has been updated, after updating the lead record, this trigger will fire, and then this trigger is going to passing those lead records to this after update method. After update method will collect this lead record, and then it is going to be changing the status as well. It is converting the lead record as the customers. So in this case here, we have to provide that test data also. The testing purpose, whatever the records are required for my testing class, we have to supply. Now let's see how can we do that. Now, let me take that use case. Prepare the test class for the trigger which auto converts the lead as a customer upon updating the status as closed converted. So actual business logic classes are what? Now I'm placing the trigger code. I'm placing the trigger code and then handler class code also. Handler class. Let me place this two first. This is the handler class. And then trigger code also let me place. Here is the trigger code. Now I need to prepare the test class for this. How to prepare the test class for this one? Now let's see practically in this case. So let me prepare the test class. Now, so what is my trigger name? My trigger name is auto lead converted trigger. I'm preparing a test class. Auto lead converted trigger test. I'm preparing the test class. I'm making this class as a test class by using this is a test annotation. I'm preparing the test method. So static test method void test auto lead conversion process. Static test method void test auto lead conversion process. Now, so now in this case, how can we prepare this one? First of all, whenever if you want to invoke this trigger, first of all, we have to update the lead record, right? Whenever the lead record has been updated, then only this trigger will fire. So to update the lead record, we need the record first, right? Yes. So I'm creating the lead record. Creating a lead record. I'm creating a lead record. So how to create the lead record? You know, lead some LD record equals to new lead. I'm going to be passing that required values over here. LD record dot first name. I'm passing test. LD record dot last name. Lead record. LD record dot company. I'm passing the value some test. LD record dot title. I'm passing the value some sales head. LD record dot phone. I'm passing some value. LD record dot tax. I'm passing some. LD record dot rate. I'm indicating as LD record dot industry. I'm indicating like some value. LD record dot annual revenue. I'm indicating some 34 lakhs. LD record dot. I'm indicating that the status. I'm indicating the value as open, not contacted. LD record dot city. I'm indicating like some Hyderabad. So this is the lead record which I would like to insert. Insert lead record. I'm inserting this lead record right now. Once the lead record has been getting inserted, what we need to do, when my trigger will fire, my trigger is going to be firing whenever the lead record has been updated. Then what needs to be done? I need to update this lead record. How can we update here? Update the lead record. So now here I'm indicating this. So LD record dot status equals to, I'm indicating closed converted, and then update the record back. Update LD record. That's it. I'm collecting the lead record. I'm updating that. So first of all, I'm preparing this lead record. I'm creating this lead record inside my lead table. Then whenever the lead record has been getting created, then immediately I'm updating this lead record status to close converted. Lead record will be updated. Once the record has been updated, automatically my trigger will fire. It will collect that lead record, passing this lead record to that lead handler utility. Lead handler utility is going to be collecting that lead record information over here. It is going to be converting this lead record. If it is verifying that if the lead record status is equals to close converted, then it is going to be converting this lead record over here. So in this case, I'm passing this a field value also. Now I'm indicating this. Opportunity. Lead record dot do not create opportunity equals to false. I'm indicating so that I need to create the opportunity record also. So that here I'm going to be verifying this. So in this case, what happened? This lead record will be storing inside the lead object? No. Now, till the execution of this testing process, only this lead record will be available inside your lead object. Once the testing process has been done, this record will be removed from your table automatically. This is only for the testing purpose. Because we can't play with our existing records. We can't play with our existing record because if something went wrong by an existing data, we will be lost. For that reason, whatever the records are required for the testing purpose, the test bed or the test environment that we need to prepare. So this is also called as test data. We need to prepare the required test data before executing the business logic. Before executing the business logic, whatever the test data is required, we have to prepare the test data over here. So insert those records over here, either one or multiple, then we can able to perform that update operation automatically to file. Now, so let me show you practically in this case. Let me open the test class also in a separate window. So let me go to the Apex classes. Open the test class. My test class name is what? Okay, auto lead converge trigger test. This is the test class. Before that, let me verify. My trigger, okay, my trigger, this is the trigger code coverage is 0%, and my Apex class code coverage is 0% here. Let me execute my test class right now. Click on run test. Now the test class has been failed. So now it is indicating a red color cross mark. It is indicating test class has been failed. Why the test class has been failed? Now we can verify. Just click on this test class name. It will be indicating that DML exception has been occurred. What is the problem in this case? Now we can able to see that problem also. Click on view. We can see that. What is the problem in this case? Required field is missing. Okay, there is a field is available, that is passport field. Passport number is mandatory here. So we haven't supplied. So let me pass that value over here. Here I'm passing that passport. LD record dot our number I'm supplying over here. And then I'm passing that passport number also. Passport number equals to, I'm passing the same value. Let's save this test class. Now, I would like to pass the email ID also for this one. I forgot to specify. LD record dot. I'm indicating testing@test.com. Now, so let me invoke this class. AutoLead convert trigger test. Now click on run test button. Now let's see. It is executing my test class. Now my test class has been passed. So let's go to the trigger. Let's refresh this user interface. What is the code coverage? 100%. And so what is the business logic class code coverage? Refresh this business logic class. Here also code coverage is 100%. So we have improved the code coverage for our trigger also over here. Now let's go to the Apex classes. See your organization code coverage. Click on estimate your organization code coverage. Now it is 4%. Previously 1%, now it is 4%. Like that, we have to prepare the test class for each and every business logic class also. We have to make it as up to 75. Now, so let me place this code. This is the test class code, which we are going to be preparing for your trigger.
So Feroz, whenever we are creating a record inside our test methods, that will be deleted after
Execution.
the test, after the execution. So whatever record we will create inside that, right?
Yes, right, correct.
Okay.
These records are not permanent records. These records are temporary till the test execution, because upon testing that whatever the records are required, those input records we are preparing first. We are executing the testing process. Once the test execution has been done, these records will be removing from your table automatically. These only the temporary records, not permanent. Okay. So now let's take one more use case to test a batch class. Now, so let's go with that batch class. Let me open a batch class here. So we have prepared a batch class in order to update that hiring manager records information. So in order to update that hiring manager records information, we have prepared a batch class. So this is the batch class which we have prepared. Hiring manager update batch, which will be collecting all the hiring manager records information. Those records will be getting collected. For all those records, it is updating the location value and the contact number value. Once the records have been getting updated successfully, then it is going to be indicating that. Now, so then it is going to be indicating that, okay. So it is sending the email notification automatically. So how to send the email notification? There is a separate class is available. Okay, messaging utility helper. Okay, messaging utility helper. So let me open that class also. Messaging utility helper. So now whenever you are opening these classes, then we have to go to the develop, and then we have to click on Apex classes. We have to select that class over here. We have to search. Instead of doing that, we can able to add one extension for your Chrome browser. This is the extension that I have. So just you can able to search. What is my class name? Metadata or messaging utility. Messaging. Whenever you are typing that, it is indicating automatically over here. So what is my class name? Messaging utility helper over here. Now, messaging utility helper, just to click on that, class will be getting open. So this is one of the extension which has been given by the Chrome browser, that is called as, okay, Salesforce Advanced Code Searcher. Salesforce Advanced Code Searcher. This is one of the extension is available from the Chrome browser. So for this one, just you can able to add this extension also. So it will be help you a lot. Upon searching the data, just you can able to type some class name, automatically it will be searching that class name also. Like for example, if I'm indicating show, it is indicating 2 classes are available. If you want to search for the Visual Force pages, then just you can select that option. Here it is having that. If you are searching for the Visual Force, then you can specify. So now I'm indicating that. So show all accounts page, showcase details page. Like that, it is having some 2 Visual Force pages are also available. Like that, we can able to search for the content also inside this. That facility is available to you over here. Now, so that better we can able to add this Chrome extension. If you want to add the Chrome extension, just you can able to go to the Chrome browser, go to the settings. You will be having that option called as settings. So let's go to that. No. So let's go to that Chrome. Go to the more tools option. You will be having an option called as extensions. Click on extensions. Here we can able to add Salesforce Advanced Code Searcher. This is one of the extensions here. We can search for the extensions also over here. We can able to search and we can able to add it over here. For example, I'm going to be searching for that. Salesforce Advanced Salesforce extensions, like that. We can able to set for some extensions, whatever we have. If there is any extensions are available, we can able to see. Now, or else here. If you're searching for any of the extensions. If you know that any extension name, then you can specify that. Salesforce Advanced Code Searcher. It will indicate that extension, just you can click on add, automatically extension will be getting added over here. So that we can able to add this extension inside your Chrome browser, which will be very helpful to you. So no need to search for the class name, just you can search for that class here. Okay, manually we don't need to search. I would like to search for the class name like as update hiring manager update batch. Now we can able to open that class code. This is my batch class here, and then I'm searching for the business logic. I'm searching for that messaging utility helper. So now, so we are having this hiring manager update batch class, which will be having the code coverage as 0%. And then we have the messaging utility helper, which is going to be collecting the information about that record which we have updated. Based on that, it is going to be sending that email notification automatically over here. It is sending the email notification also. Then how can we do that? Now let's see practically in this case. Now, let me execute it. How to prepare the test class for this? Now here also what this test class is doing, whenever we are writing the test class for any of the business logic class or trigger also or batch class also, first of all you have to understand what this class is doing right now. What this batch class will do, this batch class is collecting some hiring manager records from the object, it is updating. So it requires some hiring manager records. So we have to prepare some hiring manager records inside that object first. Through our test class we need to prepare. So now let me go to that. Let me go to the developer console. I am going to be preparing a test class for this. Now, let me prepare a test class. I'm preparing the test class for what? For my batch class. My batch class name is hiring manager update batch. I'm preparing test. I'm preparing the test class. At the rate is the test. I'm preparing the testing method. Static test method. Void. I'm going to be indicating test hiring manager batch. Hiring manager batch. So now here we need to prepare that here. Okay, we need to prepare. whatever the hiring managers are required for this particular batch class, we need to prepare those records first, because it is collecting the hiring manager records. It is querying the data. To query the data, it requires some records, right? First, yes. For that one, we need to prepare those records. So I'm creating the records. To create the records, I'm preparing one more method, like as a test data. For the test data, I'm preparing the method for test data preparation. Now, I'm using this public static void create hiring manager records. I'm preparing that. For integer, counter equals to 1, counter less than or equals to 100, counter plus plus. I'm preparing the hiring manager records. Hiring manager underscore underscore C, HR equals to new hiring manager. I'm passing the required values. Now, HR dot name. I'm passing the test hyphen. I'm adding this counter. HR dot location. I'm indicating like some mobile. HR dot email ID. I'm indicating test HR plus counter plus @ some gmail.com. HR dot contact number. Contact number, I'm giving some value. And then I would like to add this record to the collection. So I'm preparing the list collection. List of hiring manager. LST HR records equals to new list of hiring manager. And then I'm inserting this. Add this record to the collection. LST HR records dot add of HR record. Once all the records have been added to the collection, then we need to insert. If LST HR records is not empty, then insert. Insert LST HR records. I'm inserting this HR records also. Next. So now in this case, what needs to be done? So this is the method which I have prepared, because here inside my test class, I need to prepare the HR records. So that based on this HR records, based on this HR records, it will be getting testing that it is going to be performing the batch processing on those HR records. For that one, I'm going to be preparing this HR records. So I would like to call this a method. I'm calling this method. So this method is going to be executing that, it is preparing the records. Now I need to invoke the testing batch class. So whatever the records are required for my batch class, those records we have prepared right now. We are invoking this method. This is the test data preparation method. This method is going to be preparing these records. It is inserting the records inside my hiring manager object over here. So records are available. Then we can able to invoke the batch class. How to invoke the batch class? Now we have to create the object of the batch class. Same concept. Invoke the batch class. That means test the batch class. Test the batch class. For that one, how can we test the batch class? We have to use hiring manager update batch. HR batch equals to new hiring manager update batch. And then I'm going to be indicating that I'm executing by using database dot execute batch of HR batch. HR batch. But in this case, what it is doing here, internally it is going to be executing so many batches. For that one, we have to execute this batch class between the two methods called as test.start test, test.stop test. These are the two methods are available which has been given by Salesforce by default. So now test.start test, test.stop test. These two methods are going to be bypassing your governance. because not only one batch, it will be having some hundreds of batches, thousands of batches also. So that to bypass the governor limits, we are going to be using this start test and stop test. Whenever we are going to be testing the batch classes through test classes, always that batch class execution has to be right between start test and stop test. These are the two methods which are going to be bypassing the governor limits over here, so that it will be executing your batch class automatically here. Okay, this is the way. That's it. So now here we are going to be creating the records first, and then we are going to be invoking this batch class right now. Now, let's see how can we execute this, how to run this test class. Now, so let me open the test class also over here. This is my messaging utility helper class, and this is the actual batch class. Let me search for the batch class also. Hiring manager. Hiring manager update a batch test. This is the test class that we have. Okay, this is my test class, which we have prepared right now. So let me execute this test class now. Click on run test. Now the test class is executing right now. It is in the processing right now inside the queue. Test class has been passed. Now let's go to that your batch class. Verify the batch class code coverage. It is indicating 91% of that code coverage has been executed over here. Okay, 91% of this code coverage has been executed. It is indicating that 91%, because here we are deleting some records over here. Because here previously somebody has raised a question, sir, I want to delete some records over here. If the record's email ID is not equals to null, okay, then we are going to be updating that. If the email ID is equals to empty, then I would like to delete those records. For that one here, this code is not yet tested. That's what here it is going to be indicating 91% of the code coverage here. Next, when you go to that, the messaging utility, this method also will be getting invoked. It is indicating that 48% of the code coverage. Why? Because here we have two methods are available. Two methods are available. This method is invoking by our hiring manager batch class, and this method is invoking by our another batch class that is called as calculate total annual revenue batch over here. So let me invoke that batch class also over here. So now let me open that batch class. Calculate total annual revenue batch. So what this batch class will do, this batch class is going to be collecting all the account records over here. Okay, this batch class is collecting all the account records over here. It is going to be updating this information. Now, let me click on this edit. Because here we have commented this line of code. Let me uncomment this one so that we can test this method also over here. Let's save this. Now, so now what this batch class is doing right now, this batch class is going to be collecting the account records, and it is going to be calculating the total annual revenue. So let me invoke this batch class also from the same test class. From this test class, I'm going to be creating one more test data preparation method to create the account records. Method to prepare the account records. I'm preparing this. Public static void create bulk account records. Now I need to write some piece of code. So now this kind of code already we have implemented. Okay, let me copy that code from our previous examples. As part of ORM, we have prepared that to create the multiple bulk account records information. Also, let me take that same code. So let me go with the bulkification process. Bulk hiring managers will do it. Bulk account records are not there. Let me take this one. I'm preparing the list collection. List of account, list accounts equals to new list of account. I'm using a for loop. Integer counter equals to 1. Counter less than or equals to some 50. Counter plus plus. I'm executing this business logic. I'm preparing the record, and then I'm going to be adding this record to my collection. Add the record to the collection. LST accounts dot add of ACC. Once the record has been getting inserted, then I'm going to update it. I'm inserting this. If LST accounts is not empty, if the collection is not empty, then I'm going to be inserting. Insert LST accounts. Now, I'm preparing some collection of account records inside my account object through as part of my test data preparation. Once the records are available, then we need to invoke this. We have to prepare these records here. Here I'm going to be calling this method. I'm calling this method. Now invoke that batch class also. Second batch class I'm invoking. So now what is that batch class over here? My batch class name is calculate total annual revenue batch. Calculate total revenue batch. I'm indicating that. I'm indicating accounts batch equals to new calculate total revenue batch. I'm invoking. Database start execute batch of accounts batch. Accounts batch. So here I'm going to be invoking this. So now what I'm doing here, from a single test class, I'm going to be testing two batch classes. I'm going to be testing two batch classes over here from a single test class itself. Now, let me execute this test class right now. Let me go with my test class. I'm opening this test class right now. Hiring manager update batch test. Here we have written that test class to invoke that both the batch classes, hiring manager update batch, and then calculate total revenue batch, both. Now, so let me verify this. What are the code coverages? For this one, code coverage is 0% for my hiring manager batch, and then messaging utility also code coverage is 0% right now, and then here this is also calculate total revenue also 0%. Now let me invoke this batch class. Click on run test. It is running my test class right now. Test class is passed. Let's verify the code coverage of your batch classes. For the hiring manager batch, what is the code coverage? 91%. And for this messaging utility, what is the code coverage? That is indicating 100%. And for my calculate accounts annual revenue batch, the code coverage is also indicating like as 100%. So two batch classes we have tested in one shot by using one single test class here. Now let me go to my organization code coverage right now. Let's go to the organization's code coverage. Now it is indicating 14%. Like that, here slowly we have to prepare the test classes for your business logic classes as well. This is how we have to prepare the test classes for your batch classes, for your triggers also. Okay, now. So in the next session, I will show you one more session we'll have for the test classes. That will be on Monday. On Monday, we'll see how to prepare the test classes for your scheduling class and for other business logic classes also, for the Visualforce pages also. And in that Visualforce page controller class, if you need to pass the parameters, how to pass the parameters, for that one also we'll see the test classes. So on Monday also we'll be having the test class concept so that we can complete the test class part. Okay, now tomorrow and after tomorrow we are having the integration session. Okay, for the morning 7 o'clock batch people, we are having this integration session. That will be tomorrow and after tomorrow. Tomorrow we have the session at 8 o'clock.